and we are recording, Kathy.
Okay. So we do have a visitor, Joe. So welcome, Joe, as always, but let's move on to election of officers. Karen, you want to?
Sure, thank you.
Move on?
Okay, we're gonna, as we do every January, we're gonna take nominations and vote for the election of the offices. We'll start with the office of chairman. Does anyone have any nominations they'd like to put forward for the office of chairman?
Kathy.
Was that Mary Ann?
Yeah.
Okay. Does anybody have any additional nominations that they would like to put forward for the office of chair? Hearing none, I'll ask if there's a second for that motion.
I'll second it. Yeah.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Congratulations, Kathy.
All right.
Vice chair. We'll take nominations for vice chair. Anybody have any nominations they would like to put forward?
I nominate Paul.
Are there any other nominations for the office of vice chair? Hearing none, I'll ask for a second.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Congratulations, Paul. Last office, office of secretary, everybody's favorite. Do I have any nominations for the office of secretary?
Kelly. Sorry.
I can't hear you. I'm typing.
Kelly, as I always, are there any other nominations for secretary? Anybody want to be secretary?
Anyone?
Kelly, as I always ask for this office, are you willing to continue in this role?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
do I have
you
a,
so
do I
much.
have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, congratulations, Kelly. The slate of officers for 2021 will be Kathy Brown, chairman, Paul Danella, vice chairman, and Kelly Howard, secretary. And thank you and congratulations, Kathy, chairman. I turn the meeting back over to you.
All right. So I see that Bob Schaefer has joined us. Bob, are you there?
Yeah,
Hi, Bob, welcome. We can't see
I heard him.
you,
Oh, yeah.
are you
but
guys
we welcome you. So,
just here to listen?
okay, I was gonna say, Bob, do you have any comments? Do you have anything you want to say?
Nope, not at this time. Thank you.
Okay, Joe, do you? Any comments, Joe? No? No comments? Okay,
No, thank you.
all righty. Meeting notes. Kelly, thank you so much for getting those together. Did you guys read the meeting notes from the November 10th meeting?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so I have a motion to approve those.
First.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, so all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Now, I can't remember if we did the October meeting notes last meeting or not.
Did not.
I don't think we had them.
Okay, so they were, did you all take a look at those?
I did, yeah.
Okay, so can we go ahead and go back and approve those as well? October,
I'll motion to approve.
okay,
I'll second.
okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, all right. Kelly?
And I abstain. I wasn't there.
Oh, okay. All righty. All right, so good. All right, no plans?
No,
No plans? Okay. All right, folks. We sent out the questions. This is our time and we're moving through things so that this, to me, is our time that we as a board can discuss. I mean, we have our lead questions, but it's our opportunity to discuss the community building, discuss our goals, our expectations as a board for the community building, then we will all give our opinions or, our thoughts, come together as a board, and then elect someone to represent us with, is it Kevin Ballard? Ken
I'm
Ballard.
sorry, I thought I heard my name.
To represent us. So first thing we're going to do is go over those questions. Does anybody, before we get started, have any questions? And Kelly, can you take this? Can you get our comments and do the
Sure.
great job? Good, good. Does anybody have any questions about this? Like, do you understand the background? Do you understand why we're doing this? Any questions on that?
Yeah, hopefully everybody was able to read, Kathy, that, some of the minutes from the previous meetings, but I guess basically, long story short, that Ballard at King has been hired to help us kind of go through the rest of this process. So, and these questions are a focus group, right?
Right. It's like I said, it's our opportunity to let them know there are other boards who are also going through these same questions as well. First question. How can the new Community Rec Center project intersect with our role as our committee? How does it? Any comments there?
Well, that's kind of a loaded question. It intersects in tons of ways. Like how doesn't it?
Right. I just
Right.
put integral part, an integral piece
Yeah.
of everything that we do. What do you all think? What?
I agree.
I think integral is a good phrase. It's the community center and the programs based around it and planned for this community center are, a large part of the Park and Recs, whatever operation. I don't know if operation's the right word, but
Well, yeah, and my comment would only be, I think and our prior discussions about our recommendations on it bear this out. It's directly within the scope of our committee, and to the extent that the Park and Rec building can increase the capabilities of the Park and Rec department and this group, I think that's where we can be of assistance in its development.
Okay.
do we note that, we
Well,
have existing programs that need a place to live and also expand, like Kelly said, you know what I
I
mean?
think that can be addressed down the line.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? Down in the other, so in other questions.
Yep.
Kelly, I like what you said. I like how you said it as well.
I do too.
I'm writing it down.
We are recording, so you can go back. You can go back to the tape.
Oh, good call. Yeah, good
Thanks,
call.
Paul.
How would you describe the value Doylestown residents as a whole place on the Park and Rec system? What do we think? This is, the residents, not us.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're talking about, I think that, majority of the residents appreciate the park systems and the programs, and that we have such a well-developed system, that it's a benefit to the community.
Okay. Consider it a benefit.
Yeah.
Okay. I put high value to the community. Residents believe it's a high value.
Sure.
Anybody else?
I agree.
Me too.
Okay. All right. We're moving. This is our time, guys. I mean, I don't know as far as, I do think our residents appreciate the park. I do think they have high expectations for our park. And that's because of the high bar that the Park and Rec Department has set throughout the years. That's so.
Yeah, I think the benefit to the community is, is a big part of it, and it's, and Central Park and specifically is, an anchor to the township,
Anchor. All righty. I'm not going to try to put words in people's mouths, but I want us to be open and discuss this. Next question. Do I need to read them? You all have read them, right?
Yes.
Right. Yeah, you could say number 3, I think,
Thank
right?
you. Thank you. All right. What do you think?
It's kind of a weird question because do we think it is or do we know it is, because we strive to have that balance, right? As a Park and Rec board, so I think it's yes, it's a simple yes. The record says balance in terms of, yes, there's a number of programs and facilities that benefit, a balance of people, ages, disabilities, etc.
And I think we can point to the recent assessment that we did last year of the park system, where we kind of went through and indexed, the passive recreation opportunities, the active recreation opportunities. I do think we found in that assessment that the facility, the indoor facility, was kind of the piece that was missing when we went through and talked about, what kind of balance we had in terms of recreational opportunities. So
I agree. That's what we've been missing.
Yeah, that's a good point. The one thing that's missing is really an indoor facility.
I mean, my answer to that was no, that there
Right.
isn't a balance, because we are missing, as Kelly said, the indoor side of it. I think the attempt is there, but the facilities are not there to match the need.
Well, that's one piece, right? So I wouldn't say it's a straight up no, but it's, we could consider it a big piece. You know what I mean?
I think in comparison to other townships, our programs are amazing. I think Karen does a magnificent job. The diversity of the amount of programs that we offer are wonderful. Even during COVID, I'm surprised to see things still being offered. I do agree that we do need an indoor facility, but I mean, I think our balance of programs itself for, what we have are wonderful.
Yeah, I don't want to diminish the balance that we have,
So-
by saying that we need indoor. So we have a good balance, but we're sorely missing an indoor facility.
Okay,
Just
and if
adding
that's all
something.
we're missing.
Say that again, Kathy. You're gonna.
So, and of all people, you all know, I'm not going to slam the Park and Rec Department, because they do a wonderful job. But I think this is, especially with the community center, that we do need indoor facilities. We do need to be able to expand what we offer. And what we offer is a good balance, but we are missing the indoor part and the capability to expand on what we have and provide maybe even a better balance. Maybe that's, so I don't want to answer it in a negative way, but I think that that's an important question that leads into the fact that yes, we do need this community building. Now,
I mean, I think it's fairly simple. There is a good balance besides an indoor facility.
okay,
I mean, isn't that really what we're trying to say?
Mhm.
okay. Okay. All right, you all agree with that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. What about fields? No? All right, let's move on. This is.
Well, I think we have decent. I mean, I think we cover it. Could it be better? Of course. Yeah. You know what I mean? But, so, but I don't think, this isn't, I don't think we need to get into that per se.
Okay. All right, so Balance in terms of the types of parks, facilities, amenities, programs, and services. All right. Yes, but we need an indoor facility. All right. All right. How about number 4?
Yes, that's easy.
Yeah, yes. That's-
All right. How about 3 important park and rec opportunities? This I want to hear.
There you go.
There you go.
Dog training.
It's booked until February.
that would be my dog, who clearly needs some assistance.
Squeeze them in.
So park and rec opportunities, and I think we talked about this when we were talking about some of the opportunities for programming with the youth sports, indoor youth sports, having the ability to do that. I think we talked about the township's camp program and how the camp program could benefit from the additional indoor facilities and some of the additional, help with that. And then general indoor recreation space. That the kind of multi-purpose, I think, that we talked about. Those are the big 3 that jumped out to me when I thought about it.
Okay. All righty, good. What else? Or who else?
I would just think it would increase our ability to have places to rent, recreational space for people to rent.
Okay.
I think it expands the use of the parks in the winter and different seasons. When outdoor,
Season's a good point. Yeah.
Good one, Mary Ann. Or it expands the use of the park, or expands the
programs.
Programs available.
programs and recreation available to our residents, right?
Yes.
Park, recreation, potential recreation and programs. Okay. I had community, like meeting space and community use space in there. So that could be programs, and it could also be Blythe. I mean, you said as far as rental space, but I was thinking more of the meeting room space and the classroom space.
Yeah, that's along the lines I was thinking.
And potential there as well to open things up to our residents and local groups who would need meeting space. So not just the gyms or the multi-use space, but the rest of the building as well. Anybody else? So we have more than 3 there, so we might have to come back to that.
Do we want to pick the top 3?
Do we want to do that now?
Yeah, I mean, let's finish this question off, no?
I was thinking as we go through, we may come up with other things to add to that, but we can.
Well, we can come back to it either way. It's fine.
Okay. Second part, challenges. What are our 3 challenges?
Well, it says, what are 3 challenges? Yeah. Do you want to say parking? One of the bigger ones?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even think of that one. But you're right. Okay.
How about personnel to manage these programs?
Okay. I said staff.
Yeah.
Staff, sure.
And also being able to advertise to put the information out to the people in the township of what is available and what they can do.
Marketing.
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 Yeah, that's the word.
Yep.
Okay. So then my other one, that's the elephant in the room, is
Getting it built.
funding.
Sure, I think that's a simple answer, right?
I mean, can we think of this without, and you all speak up here. I mean, is that a challenge?
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, it's a big budget to get it built.
Okay. All righty. Anything else on that one, on challenges?
And they only asked for 3. The only other thing I would say is, site management or management of the building and expanding programs.
Well, we had mentioned,
Staff. I guess that's covered under staff.
right?
Yeah.
Now, this isn't a challenge, and we may mention it, but the idea of we're focused now, but a challenge is to build it with the foresight down the road. So that once it's built, we don't have a building that needs to be changed or updated. So I don't know if that's a challenge. It's just something I've thought about, a concern or but so of those, all right, so we've got more than 3. We'll come back to that one too. All right, so we all said yes. So how about number 5? Most important elements to be included.
I mean, obviously we want to lead with indoor gymnasium, right?
Do we want to be careful how we, is it a gymnasium? Is it I mean, we want a full size what?
Basketball court.
Yeah,
No,
well, we can't call it a basketball court.
But-
Yeah.
Right, yeah,
I
I
mean,
know.
I think
Gymnasium,
gymnasium's all encompassing. I know a gymnasium doesn't necessarily mean sports. I mean, you can read into it that way. We could say large activity room, but
that could be,
everybody knows what we're talking about.
Multi-purpose?
Like a sport court, like a
Okay,
that
whatever.
gymnasium hyphen multi-purpose.
sport. court.
Large multi-purpose area. I think
Yes.
gymnasium assumes large, but large multi-purpose area, I think would cover it.
Okay, and I like sport court as opposed, when I think of gymnasium, I think of a wooden gym floor. Like an old school gymnasium.
Do I have to Google the definition of gymnasium? Is that what we need to do here? I
No,
don't even know
no.
what a sport court is.
It's more of a multi-purpose.
Gymnasium is multi-purpose.
Okay, all right.
It's
Splitting hairs, sorry,
Right.
sorry.
Sport court makes it sound like we're trying to be evasive to me. I just, I would read that personally and say, wow, we really don't want to call it a gymnasium.
It's more general. It's more general.
I don't want to pigeonhole us into a gym.
Sports?
But Paul's right. Like they know what we mean.
Wait, okay.
That's
All
what I
right.
mean. That's,
All right. All right, that's fair. That's fair.
And I think we discussed this and anticipated the elements when we were talking about our recommendations to the board, which included both the gymnasium portion of it, but then also a portion of the indoor that would be able to be used in, potentially classroom meeting rooms or rental rooms, or, that it would be I don't know what you call it, multifaceted that way, or multi-use, so that we would be able to have those multiple events going on at the same time. So I think we anticipated, they gave us some, examples in question 5. And frankly, I think we anticipated all of the above. We talked about gathering opportunities. We talked about technology. We talked about potentially even like kitchen facilities, I think, or some.
That's what I
Right.
noted.
Yeah, that type of use. I think we anticipated really all of that when we thought about it.
I mean, do we want to put something in there? To me, one of the big parts of this is growth of our existing programs and activities room and facilities and technology for growth,
To expand.
to expand our existing activities and programs. I think that's, to me, that's, that's a big key to it, right? And we're not talking about, I don't want to talk about the gym constantly. I mean, there's a whole lot of other stuff going on in this building. And really what it comes down to is we'd like more space. We'd like updated facilities so that we can, have more opportunities for everything.
Indoor space.
Indoor space.
Yes.
Now, one of the things, and part of this is from the public meeting that we had, and I'm putting meeting rooms down
Mhm.
as opposed to classrooms, but I do believe one of the important things, and it's an example, is as far as the technology, as far as the when things that it's all Wi-Fi, all of that is built in, ready to go. That's included in all of this. And if you all, those of you who were at the public meeting, the people mentioned when they have to shelter in place. And people were out of power, or people were not allowed back in their houses when the shooting, that the building was not, where they were, was not prepared to have that occur, like as far as the electrical outlets, as far as the Wi-Fi, as far as the technology. So I think that's an important part of this, is we need the gymnasium multipurpose room to be as large as it can be. And we need the meeting rooms, as Paul said, to expand, but to expand utilizing what is going to be needed now and in the future. And I took a long time to say all of that, but sorry, but do you understand what I'm saying? That I do think the technology side of it is very, very important.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't disagree. We should include that. I think it's important as well.
How about the element of being able to divide that space? Room dividers, anything along that nature?
So, and again, we're talking large enough rooms that can be divided, correct?
Yeah, in my mind, that would be key.
For
When I was in high school, they had divisions in the gymnasium.
Yeah.
So you could have a smaller space for playing handball.
Mm-hmm.
instead of
remember
having
they rolled
a
down
whole-
curtains? Well, they did at ours. That was the divider, was the big curtain.
Now we had a door that sort of opened out and sealed it, divided it up. Yes.
So
I think the
But
kitchen
that's
is
going to
key
be
too,
a
like Kelly
big,
said.
that's a big added cost.
Yeah. I think if you're going to have rentals, whether it be for whatever, parties, whatever, I think, you need some type of entertainment, kitchen, small utility space.
Yes. Kitchen,
That's
definitely.
also key, yeah.
with the gym, and this is just with the gym and with the meeting rooms, we want, or I should say, do we want as large as, like, do we want to emphasize that size wise, and something with the gym, and I don't know if we're splitting hairs here, is proper storage as well.
I mean, where the question is, what's the most important?
So
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't talk about storage being the most important. I mean, do we need to summarize that we have expanding space, expanded multi-size space with updated technology to, fit our needs for activities
And
and
expand the
programs
activity.
now and in the future?
yeah, and a kitchen.
And kitchen.
Right.
Okay. All right. Anything else on that one? Anything else?
No.
6. How should this community center serve our community? Or
My answer is both. I
It-
mean,
It is both. I mean, I would
Right.
say to the extent that our Park and Rec programming right now, we're talking about using this as for our programming serves the community specifically, then obviously there's a focus on the community with the Park and Rec program. Special events and other activities, I think we talked about revenue generating with that aspect of it. So I think Paul's right. It has to be both. You can't do one without the other to make it effective.
Mhm. Right.
We all agree on that?
Yes.
Yes.
Balance community and residential needs with the programs, the Park and Rec programs, et cetera. So Kelly, can you say that in a good, okay.
Eloquently.
Eloquent.
So, and in saying that, we've answered, should it be a venue for special events and other activities?
Yes.
Absolutely, right?
Absolutely.
Yes.
All right. But in mentioning that it's a balance of community, we are not saying that these special events, that renting the space is what we want to do. What we want to do is balance the use of this for our community first, and then balance out with recreation opportunities and rental opportunities. Are we there?
Well, I
Yes.
mean, we could say, the answer is both, but its goal is to provide a service to the community, but also support the Park and Recs, with, some revenues and recovery of costs for the building. But that moves into the next one, right?
Next
So
question.
do we
Okay.
want to get too far down that road?
No, we're good with the balance. I just, and you're right. Let's go on to 7, because I am leading into that question. Revenue opportunities. What do you think?
Should be a
Silence.
balance of revenue opportunities and community activities that are supported, but we need to help cover the cost. I mean, there's some cost to maintaining that building all the time.
I mean, we did a full, let's not forget that we
Yeah,
did a
we talked
full
about
business plan on this.
Yes.
So yes, there are many revenue opportunities. I think the one thing to be clear here is that, we don't expect the building to pay for itself. It asks about cost recovery expectations. But we do expect, rentals and fees to recoup a good portion of the cost of the building based on our business plan.
And review the business plan for answer to that question.
Right.
Okay, you know what, Paul, I was 100% with you
Mm.
until you said based on the business plan. So I am, because I felt as though that business plan pushed for rental and not for the balance, as we said we wanted from question 6.
So just take that part off.
So I was 100% with you.
Okay. I mean,
Paul.
I just, they're asking, and to be honest, it's a little frustrating, right? Because we've been through all this. I don't know if it's because Ballard King is new or what, but, the reason I referenced the business plan is because it's all been overly documented. So, we could leave that out. Maybe that's just me being frustrated.
Okay. What I'm getting
You're
to
not
what
through
you're
this
saying is that that our community building should be able to recoup costs. But even you said it, Paul, is it's not going to pay for itself.
No,
Okay.
So cost recovery expectations, yes, there are some. We do expect to have rentals, and that's our answer from our committee. Other committees may have other answers.
I mean, I would say, I'd say something positive, like there's opportunity for numerous, or there's numerous rental opportunities, for the space.
Yep.
While balancing the needs of the community.
Sure.
Yes.
Okay, I mean, I want to go back to the fact that it is a community building. It is not a space to rent 7 days a week, that's my difference. So if you all disagree, speak up, but
No, I think that's appropriate what you added.
It's not a disagreement, but just because it's used for the community and we're serving the community doesn't mean that that won't be revenue generating too. You know, I'm a member of the community, I can rent it. Karen can operate
Right.
her park and rec, you know, camp out of there and generate revenue
Sure.
through the park and rec department's use of that building. So I don't think they have to be mutually exclusive.
okay. Okay. All right. So Kelly, will you kind of go back on that and see what we, like go back to Paul's original response. What did he say?
He said yes, there are revenue opportunities. The building may not pay for itself, but there's an expectation of revenue generating opportunities through rentals and the use of the building. Is that fair?
I think that's pretty fair.
What do you all think?
Yes,
Is that okay?
Yes.
Kelly?
Mhm.
Is that okay?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay. All right, did that cover 7?
Mhm.
Because we covered fees and cost recovery. Are we good with that?
I think
Yes.
so, yeah.
Okay. Priority number 8.
I mean, we're on the Park and Rec Committee. I think we think it's pretty high.
We've been talking about it for 2 years, so,
I mean,
At least
it's
2
very
years.
high.
yeah.
All right, good. Other issues
say-
or
Just say,
concerns?
just say very high, yeah. So, I mean, I think, what are the deal breakers for you? I think we come right out and say, whatever the large space is called.
Okay,
You know what I mean? I think we don't pull punches there. You know, we could say having a space large enough for a slate of activities, sports, rentals, you know. I mean, again, we don't have to call it a gymnasium. We don't have to call it, we could just say a large space, you know, to fit a full slate of, activities.
Mary Ann, what do you think? Plyfoot? I mean, Kelly, are you?
No, my only concern would be parking, which we've already addressed.
Yeah, I think we worked, I mean, when we talk about issues or concerns, are there any deal breakers? I think we kind of talked through everything and we determined when we made our recommendation on the building that we didn't think there were any deal breakers or anything that should kind of
it's just
stand.
that it included that large space. That was
Right.
pretty much something that we determined had to be there.
So my deal breakers were what Paul said, as far as not maximizing the multi-use, the gymnasium, whatever it is, and inadequate meeting space. Those would be deal breakers for me. If they, said, we have to cut the meeting space back in half or whatever. Those are the 2 biggest priorities to me, are the, those, and then again, I have not planning for down the road, not planning for
Future expansion.
future expansion. But if we say that, we do not have the full size gym or the maximum size meeting space, then we're saying we are not preparing for down the road or expansion. Do y'all have anything else on that? I still hate that we're not, okay. Let's keep going. Partnerships.
I don't know. I don't know what, I honestly don't even understand this question personally.
I agree.
Other issues or concerns regarding the project partnerships? Am I concerned about partnerships? No, not really.
Are there people you think we should partner with in building this or in utilizing?
That wouldn't be that's not the question though, Kathy.
Not a concern.
It says concerns.
Yeah.
Are there people that should not or could? I mean,
Yeah, I don't know how to answer that. I mean, funding is a concern. I mean, you know, programs and services. Do I have concerns about programs and services? You know, go back to answer A, where we have enough space and technology, or the answer above, where we have enough space and technology to plan for the programs we have now and future expansion.
that's what I said is would be plan for future expansion or future expansion of programs. You know, I guess the only thing on partnerships would be if we allowed the athletic associations to come in and overtake the use of the gym.
That's a
That
good point. I can be on board with that. Overuse of athletic organizations.
Yeah, I mean, that was my
Mhm.
concern there.
That's a good point.
Is our focus is in the wrong spot on that one. Anything else on that? Okay, how about other thoughts?
I think this question is a chance for us to really kind of spread our wings, shall we say? You know, I think we can mention that we have been working this process for 2+ years through comp plans and studies and community meetings. And, you know, we feel that this is a big need for the community. We've looked at the financials and the revenue producing questions and we've answered them. So, you know, it's the consensus of this board, you know, I assume, to move forward with this building.
And we've said that before.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
I mean, we have.
Well,
Yes.
that was Paul's point. We've kind of answered all of these questions over the past 2 years in some way, shape, or form.
Mhm.
And
And I don't know that we shouldn't talk about the fact that the building we had was taken away. Like, we need something, you know?
right. Well, but we've also proved that. We've also mentioned that. That's also been said. But
Right, but we have a chance. Remember, I assume we basically have a new audience here. So, you know, I guess we get a chance to say that again and possibly, and it's in, you know, theoretically it's in writing. I don't know who else this document's going to be shown to, you know, but starting with the fact that the old building was taken away from us, the building that provided space for existing ongoing amenities, you know, now we have to A, plan to replace that, and B, plan for future expansion and growth opportunities, which are sorely needed by the community through research that we've done over the past 2 years.
2 years, yes. Blythe, do you have anything to
I
add?
do, and it's always my main point because I live on the park. It's the safety and security for the surrounding community. You know, it's for the pedestrian walkways. You know, I don't know what the maximum occupancy of the building is going to be, but if, say, somebody rents it out and there's 200 people and those 200 people leave, and is there going to be police that's going to, you know, monitor the roads, and are 20 cars going to drive down the pedestrian walkway behind my house and hit somebody? Like, that's always a big question for me. How is it going to be secured?
Okay, safety and security. That is that's something that needs to be addressed. It definitely needs to be addressed. I'm certain that it will be addressed. I think, though, in these questions, we're we're looking as a whole. And that might be something to bring up at a,
No, I agree. And I know it's more personal for me, but I see it. I
Yeah.
see it every day.
Yeah.
I think security is a good question, and I don't have a problem including that since that's what I do. So, but we talked about it being we talked about it a lot, being in that location as opposed to right in the middle of Central Park and closer to the police station. So, and I've stressed concerns of it, nighttime, it being kind of there by itself, you know what I mean? Do we have to consider better parking lot lighting and things like that? So I don't disagree that security in general is a concern. But
good point. Anything else on that? That's, and that's a real good point as far as that it is over there by itself.
Yeah. But
one
I
of
don't know.
the
I don't
things-
know in this question that we really want to focus a lot on that. I mean, again, I think this is our opportunity to speak, about kind of the things we've been saying, how we've been doing this all along. I mean, if we wanted to list security up above where we had concerns, I think that's a more opportune time.
I agree.
But like I said, I think this is an opportunity for us to, tell the story of the building, and the research that we've done over the 2+ years, and and maybe talk up the programs we have already and how we'd like to expand them, and we think there's plenty of room to expand them. I think that's kind of like, I think this last question should be a sounding board for us in a good way,
and kind of, for me, I thought it was more to wrap things up. And I've said it again, that we need to approach this as a community center with the opportunity to rent to residents and the community, but it is being built to meet the needs of our community and the Park and Rec department. And as we've said it before, plan for the future, and plan to allow our Park and Rec board. As Paul, you said, we have looked into what is available, but we know what the potential is there, and to allow for the expansion. The other thing, and I'm not sure how to say this in the right way, this isn't so we need to learn from previous builds. And if we want this to be a functioning building, we need to learn from the building of the administration building. And I'm in there once a month, and the sound system is horrible in that room. So I just work to make certain that what we build is appropriate, is usable, and will allow for the programs, the community, the meetings, et cetera, in an appropriate way. I mean, that's, and I think we can learn from the administration building. I don't know how we want to say that, if we want to say that. Have any of you been in there for a meeting?
Terrible.
Oh, yeah, it's horrible. I don't know that I agree that this is the place to really talk about that. But we can add a sentence of it, because you're not going to get, are you going to say there's bad audio in the township building? We should not do that. You know what I mean? Like, that's, I mean.
We can talk about the importance of some design features. I mean, we've already talked about technology, and in the design of the building, a focus on technology and including audio visual potentially. I mean, we can say it in a more positive way.
In a positive, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm fine with, like you said, focus on technology, up to date, things like that.
Efficiency,
Say it again.
energy efficiency.
Okay, I bet EAC will work on that as well. All right, so we're going to So let's bring this one back together. We know that the building is needed. The old building was taken away. We know what this building needs to be built, what use it's for. Is that correct?
Mhm.
Because we've said that all along. We want to make sure that we prepare for the future programs down the road, space-wise and technology and security, correct? Would that work?
I like the phrase "future needs of the community." You know, that's a broad, conversation. I think that we should include that. And I do think this that we should say, as a board, we've studied this for the past 2+ years.
Okay,
And still agree that this is, a critical part to our programs.
okay.
And
That's well said too. Okay, all right. So now let's go back real fast to what are our top three? Shoot, you all. What are three important park and rec opportunities? Kelly, that's number 4.
Right, 4A.
Yeah, what do we have?
So we have youth sports, township camp opportunities, general recreation space, rental opportunities, meeting rooms and classroom space, multi-season / winter use, and indoor recreation availability.
So we need the top 3.
I vote for multi-season. I think that's kind of key in why we need it. One of the reasons we need an indoor space, right? Or I would say, multi-season indoor.
Season multi-use?
Yeah, sure. I mean, what are the 3 important park and rec opportunities? It's not really an opportunity, though, is the only problem. I would say,
Well, it encourages people to participate when it's not nice outside, or when you need to be inside, as opposed to having a meeting in the rain.
Mary, that's a really good point. An opportunity is more additional community participation in park and rec.
Mhm.
I like that.
Sure.
And park and rec encompasses the function of the building, the reason for the building, correct?
Yes.
All right, that's one. What else? Did you get that, Kelly? Okay. What else?
I think, updated meeting rooms, whether we want to say technologically or whatever, but, upgraded meeting rooms with additional room and amenities for our, programs and, existing and future programs.
In community needs.
Yeah,
Does that work?
sure.
Upgraded technology and meeting opportunities,
Just a meeting space.
meeting space.
Yeah.
All right, and the third one.
I think I have 3. I have multi-season, multi-use, community participation in park and rec, and upgraded technology and meeting space.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
I like those.
Good. I do too. All right. And then the other one was 3 challenges.
The 3 challenges I have: parking, personnel, marketing, funding, and sufficiency of design for the future.
Did we talk? Didn't we put, sports club takeover in there?
We added that as a concern
Oh.
further down towards the end, but yeah, that would go there. Could go there too.
Well, if it's covered down below, let's not repeat it. You know what I mean?
And so I think staffing should be one of the 3. What do you guys think?
I agree.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay,
Mhm.
what else?
I think marketing was important.
Okay,
Yeah, it's a challenge.
so the big one is, as far as our board goes, let's look at it this way, because this is our Park and Rec board. And do we think, is funding an issue there, or is there some, I'm having trouble saying this. Do you all know what I'm saying? Is that something that we truly address and
No,
because it's there? Or is it something that we let other people address and we focus on what we,
Not speaking for the board, it's not an issue with me. I mean, I think that, you know, we have a solid business plan. We can pay for a portion of a building that we need to replace on some level. You know, and I think that, you know, worst case scenario, you know, if we did have to pay through this through taxes, you know, that the cost, the benefit far outweighs the cost. So that's my personal opinion. So I wouldn't bring it up.
no, I
Yeah.
agree. We don't need to bring up funding.
so then what's our third?
I'm sorry. What did we have for 1 and 2, Kelly?
We have staffing / personnel.
Okay.
And then we have marketing. I mean, the other thing that I think we've continued to bring up is this idea of it's
Expansion.
efficiency for the future use.
Yes.
But
Is that, we could also put for number 3, we could put like parking / security, you know,
Mhm.
you know, because to me, parking is definitely a big thing.
we
And-
got, and it says
it
challenges.
Challenges, yeah, it is
Right.
challenges. Yes,
Parking is going to be a challenge.
and security. Let's put
Yes.
both of those together. Okay, all right. Most important elements,
We did those, didn't we?
did we did, right?
Mhm.
I have a long list, yeah.
Do we want to condense that list?
What I can do is to circulate in draft form the minutes of the meeting.
Well, these have to be back when, Kathy? Pretty quickly, right?
Steph, yeah, I forget. I mean, when's the meeting? Do
You want me to jump in, Kay?
you,
Yeah.
when's the meeting?
Okay. The meeting will come up, I think they're going to start scheduling the beginning of February, first, second week of February. So these do not need to be submitted. These are talking points for you. This is a stakeholder interview. The board is considered a stakeholder, both as the board and as residents. So it's not a right or wrong answer, but it's preparing for the dialogue and interview with the consultant.
So Kelly, we have time to read, send it back around. Good.
Well, aren't they talking about doing those interviews pretty quickly, Karen?
Yeah,
Well,
they're going to come up. They're going to be the second step. I don't have that paper in front of me. I'll say they're going to
meeting-
schedule with your.
They will schedule with you and they will take place either the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th, or 8th and 9th, depending
Okay.
on whoever your spokesperson's schedule, is. So,
So we have till the end of February.
no.
No,
Or
End
end
of
of January, I meant, end of January. I meant.
Kelly, if you
But
can
I-
send it out in the next couple days and we can send it back in by Monday or Tuesday, we'll be good, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Get the
Right.
flavor of your discussion points. So
Okay,
there you go.
all right. And it's just that last one, so we're good. Okay. All right, so now, we need to decide on a representative to meet with Ken, who can share our thoughts, share our views.
I think it should be someone who has been part of it for the 2 years, who really understands the whole process. I'm sort of new to it. I'm not opposed to helping, but I don't think I have the background that is really required.
Yeah, I'm happy to volunteer.
That's-
You know, unless I would defer to Kathy.
It-
You know,
It,
but
it's, Paul, if you want to, that's fine with me.
okay.
But my only concern, well, no, that's fine with me. If you want to do it, that's fine.
You can say your only concern. Feel free.
No, we will have what we talked about, and
Yeah.
that's fine with me. It's one meeting with Ken, and
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah, it won't be my agenda. It'll be this document. You know what I mean? So, you know, I'm happy to gather, you know, especially with this document, the entire board's opinions. So it's fine.
Thanks, Paul.
Are we okay with that? Are we okay with Paul?
Thank you, Paul. Paul will be, yes,
Sure.
absolutely.
Good. I'm fine with that. Good.
Okay, Paul, are you comfortable? We need to give them your email address, and I'd like to give them a phone number that would be most appropriate where they can contact you, you know, for any reason, day of.
Sure.
So I'm assuming we have that in the boards and commissions book back at the ranch, and that we can just use the current information.
Yeah, I mean, my phone number hasn't changed, so either as my email. So
Thank you. Okay.
On a side note with that, if anybody's email or phone number has changed for any reason,
Please complete the form.
please send that to me so we can update the book.
did you resend? I got to double check my address because I don't know that it ever got updated from like 2.5 years ago.
Yeah, I know Jack usually sends out, Karen, that form.
Yeah, I'm trying to expedite it. If anything has changed, just email me and I will get it to the appropriate place for updating.
So Paul, go ahead and send in your new address.
Okay. Yeah, I'll
Okay.
send it.
That would be the best thing for you to do. Okay, so folks, that's it. We're good. Good on that. We have, Karen, do you have anything, director's report? What,
Yeah.
can you do that?
Sure. I wanted to keep it very quick because I knew the questions were a primary topic tonight. And thank you for taking the time to do this. It's all part of the feasibility study and the data gathering. And Ken will come back with an entire report, a well-rounded report. On the 19th of January, the final draft of the comprehensive park recreation open space comprehensive plan will be reviewed and discussed by the board and adoption requested. The consultant Judy will make the presentation. Obviously, this is another prime component of park and recreation. So I'd love to invite everybody to log into that meeting as well. Should any questions or come up or information be requested from the Park and Recreation Board following the meeting, should it be adopted in your next packet, you will receive a copy of the plan, the final adopted plan. And then the rolling of the sleeves, what begins and the work begins, or continues, I should say, would probably be a better word. Due to the current circumstances, continuing circumstances of COVID and trying to take a proactive approach, the golf outing has already been adjusted and moved to August 23rd. So that will not be coming right around the corner as we begin to plan for the coming seasons. Your help is always appreciated as we move forward. As I understand it, Stephanie, please correct me if I'm not approaching this properly. Would be looking to a member or members of the Park and Recreation Board to take a more active role as our chairman. I believe this may be their last year as chairman of the Golf Outing Committee. And that's one of the people that works very hard to make sure that we have adequate golfers and is regularly feeding fundraising opportunities to us. So anybody that would be interested in getting a little bit more involved in the golf outing, that would be appreciated. In your packet, you saw that we did have a resident request the opportunity to install a little library. There are 2 now in Central Park, thank you to some Eagle Scout projects. This is a resident who happens to be on the tab board. You saw the diagram. It's pretty straightforward. If anybody has any problems or concerns about something like that going at Bridgepoint, I wanted to put that on the agenda for your blessing, if you will. And then internally, Chris and myself and whoever needs to get involved, we've worked on that to install it.
To other parks, I mean, you just said Bridgepoint, right? Did you say?
They've specifically requested Bridgepoint.
She lives across the street, so
Yeah.
I assume it's easy for her.
Right.
From Bridgepoint.
Right. So, yeah, I found it to be very intriguing since we often talk about that we do have other parks. And it is such a lovely place to just sit and relax and, read a book on the creek.
So my question on that, and then let's keep moving, is we as residents, if we have 10 books, can we open the door and donate our books into the little library?
Sure, as long as there's space. We don't, it's
Yeah.
like, it's take,
Don't
it's
drop
the
'em
idea of a
off.
little library is take one, leave one type of scenario. And I always remind people, because often we forget that we have kids and middle school students that could also benefit from appropriate books. And I did request that it be made of adequate size to hold, say, a children's book.
Okay. Okay, good. All right. Anything else?
No.
Anybody else have
Right
anything?
now.
Anyone? Nope. Thank you all. Thanks for reading the questions. Thanks for, I do believe that we're all on the same page, which is wonderful. And we did bring up a few things that really hadn't been touched on that needed to be touched on. That was the purpose of this, so that's good. So I don't have anything else. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Seconded.
All right. Meeting adjourned.
Thanks, everybody. See ya.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.